It's Friday, and yet another new all-time high in the indexes. You think we're going to talk about Netflix all day? Well, we'll talk about it a little bit, but there's a lot of news with the letter S. Sarepta, SBET, big news to cover on that. Other minor earnings to cover. Tony Pawlak, 835, joining us real life trading with some day trading setups. We couldn't be more fired up on this Friday. Pre-market prep coming at you right now.
The volatility right now is really incredible.
Wow, look at that consolidation on the upper right chart.
You know what we've seen this earnings season? Some of these expected moves get even more violent. This is why I have switched my strategy 10 years ago. And if you're chasing, you're in trouble.
All right, strong day yesterday. Follow through on the upside. We're up four handles, 63.44.50. A little bit off the pre-market high, 63.57. The dollar after a nice run, the dollar futures down 42 cents, 98.02. TLT trying to find a bid near that recent low of the move, up 33 cents, 85.44. USO having a good day, trying to work it back way up to the top of the trading range, up $1.07, 77.23. Gold creeping its way back up to all-time high, up a GLD up $1.63, 309.22. SLV trying to sneak into 35 handle, up 26 cents, 34.91. Bitcoin steady, hanging up near the high of the move, up $115 at 119,405. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Ethereum and SBET in a little bit. Let's bring Triple D to the stage. And Triple D, you keep on saying, what a wacky world we're in, wacky markets, and great news yesterday out of Sarepta. And the tables are turned.
Well, and was it great news yesterday? That's what we were talking
True.
about in the STN room. That's what we were questioning. So they went through this whole restructuring, but cutting 36% of the workforce. And the stock was up 60% last night, like 2 nights ago, up to $29. You see that huge spike. And that's when we were talking and saying, look, when you're cutting 36% of the workforce, you're cutting it out of necessity. When you're cutting 10% of the workforce, it's called cost reductions. When you're getting up to 36%, you've got problems usually. So they had the whole restructuring, everything going on, management promotions, trying to figure stuff out. You know, Adam Fierstein tweeting out too, but we were challenging how good of a headline this really was. I was like, it's worth something probably to be up. It probably makes sense to be up, but up 60% was absurd. And I know, like again, congratulations to a lot of people in the STN room that took this thing short, 2 nights ago in the 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 area. I got out of my position as well because I had long and back holder. And I was just saying, I think this is just not as good a news as everybody thinks it is. Well, the rug pull today is just unbelievable. So what's happened here overnight is another patient has actually died. So my question, and that's why the stock is down 24%. So this is the third death. Now, did the management know about this when they had the call and they're doing all this restructuring? Did they know that this person was going to die? Because these people don't just die suddenly. Like, they're sick. So did the management know that this was imminent? Because if they did, holy cow, there's got to be some, people looking at this like class action lawsuit all over the place. Because, you create a lot more bag holders yesterday with that huge rally. And then, the very next day, 24 hours later, another patient's death, and the stock is making a new 52-week low. That is unbelievable. So if management knew, it's an if they knew this patient was going to die, I think there needs to be, there's going to be some class action lawsuits. We'll say that.
That's it. That's the only thing I can say. It just that is the way you did the day trade, and then exiting out of the long term trade. Just buy. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't think I've ever seen such a reversal. Bad news on top of news. Most important thing is, to think, a person has passed away from this, and that's the exact opposite effect. And they better figure things out soon is the only thing I have to say.
Yeah, and if you're buying this for a dip, it has, bounced off the lows, but there's a lot of issues here, folks. So
done with Sarepta.
This is flies. This stock, is flies all over it here. From an investing perspective, I would say for me, it's a no touch. I always say when a stock is making a new 52-week low, you got to go. We made a new 52-week low in the pre-market. We're trying to reclaim, that whole 17 area where, the old lows were. But man, you think about the story of this company, $173 a year and a half ago. Now it's $16. And obviously, they're worried that the drug's going to get pulled, or obviously it's going to have huge hurdles trying to get full approval here. So, major issues here at Sarepta. And it kind of makes sense that they were cutting 36% of the workforce yesterday now that this has happened. So, lots, to chew on there. But at this point in time, I know there's a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, yeah, they've got $2 billion in cash here. Well, they also have a lot of issues here right now. And I still can't believe that, they didn't mention any of this on the call yesterday. So let's move on from Sarepta because there's a lot more stories to talk about here. Crypto bill passes, Joel. Last night, IBIT, you can look at whatever you want to look at, was trading up substantially. Crypto was trading, Bitcoin, Ethereum, both trading up substantially last night. They've given a lot of those gains back. Like we were watching huge gains last night in Coinbase, which is still up substantially. Mara, Riot, MSTR were all up big last night. A lot of them have given a lot of those gains back. So a little bit of like, okay, they buy it last night, but a little bit of sell-on news event here today. The question to you is, maybe just even go and look at a Coinbase because the stock has been on an incredible run. $150, $250, $421 here this morning. Is there any, reason to think like this crypto, stock or this crypto?
No.
Oh,
we're
not saying that. We don't give investment advice, but it seems like that's what the market's mentality is here.
Actually, that's not. I'll give the all-time high in Coinbase here. All-time high. We've hit it. Did we hit it? No, we haven't. 429 was 54 was the all-time high made off that April IPO. So we can't forget about that. The pre-market high, we just snuck over 425, 425.70. I think when you're, looking at this now in the area that's in, what I will do is keep an eye on the highest low ever made in the move, 94.28, all-time closing high, 1075. Seem to be far away from those levels. So, if I was trying to protect some profits, I would look at those two levels. And then, of course, today, it looks like we're going to have another all-time closing high. So incredible streak. But Coinbase, yeah, we're talking about Coinbase. We're talking about Bitcoin kind of consolidating, made that high a few years ago. But what about this move in Ethereum here? And that thing had a major consolidation for May and June and off to the races.
Yeah, this is crypto. This is the world, that we live in. This is the story market. The stock market is all about a sexy story, and crypto is sexy right now. Like if you just think and just break down the market overall, what is the driver? What is continuing to drive price here? Is it, earnings, corporate earnings getting good? We're getting to Netflix. They're okay. It's not corporate earnings drive. It's story driving it. Crypto story, sexy. AI story, sexy. Rare earth story, got sexy. Follow the story. That is what we're in. When you're in a bear market, story isn't driving the bus. They start looking at fundamentals. They start playing defense. They're like, oh, I want a little bit of dividend. You go back to April, it's a completely different story. We are not in Kansas anymore. We are in a full raging speculative bull market and story that is driving price. So if you're in a stock and you're like, well, it's really cheap, like UNH. That stock is really cheap here. It's got good fundamentals. It's got good value. I'm going to be okay in the long run. Maybe you will, but you're not going to be okay in the short run. It continues to leak here. And story stocks is what people want. They don't see a sexy story in UNH, which, we could talk about Elevance Health move from yesterday too. Obviously, there's major issues there, in this whole sector. But just, bringing it back around, it's the story. Ethereum is a cool story. They got this Galaxy thing, GLXY, Galaxy Digital. That thing's blasting off here now too. The market just wants sexy stories, and that's what, and they want immediate gratification. They want to see me making money. I don't want to sit around, wait for my 7% dividend, for the whole year. I want, make 7% tomorrow. I want to make 25, 50, 100%. I'm going to get options and just kill it. That's what this market wants. It's the market of immediate gratification. And that's why those stocks continue to climb.
And here's my hot take for this crypto story. Ready for it?
Yeah.
What Dennis is saying about the story is 100% of the moves in these crypto names and crypto itself right now. I look for volume on news items on a 1-minute chart to tell me what is moving a stock. And when the Genius Bill passed yesterday, these stocks did not respond volume wise and price wise. Yes, they are drifting higher. I think it is 100% just because these names are such a good story right now and they're caught up in the momentum of this amazing, unprecedented bull market.
I mean, just new issues too, like GLXY, Galaxy Digital. He's talking about a stock that's been out here for a couple of months. It's new, and it gets a consolidation. Like, go back to the charts on the top right, Joel. I'm looking at it. You get the period of consolidation for a couple of months, and it starts to make new highs. And look, I always talk about the hook, and then we hook and we're out of here, and then they just blast off, and they go way farther than you think they can. That's really what this is, because it's not just retail. Like, people will say, oh, it's retail driven. It's algorithmic driven. Algos are trying to grab on the headlines because they know retail will follow. And then it's just like, keeps going and going. And you see these substantial moves. Now, how does it end? Well, a lot of times, these things don't end well. But right now, we don't have to worry about the ending because we're still right in the story here. We're still in the middle of the story. So, at a certain point in time, yes, things are going to end. But I mean, think about, where we're heading to. I mean, markets are at all-time highs. This is not the time to be bearish when markets are making new all-time highs.
Well said. So staying on the Ethereum, Brad said he's seen offerings, $5 billion offering in SBET to buy Ethereum. What do you know? They must have been buying it. Were they buying it over the last couple days? Look at that Ethereum futures chart. 20. Oh, what?
They were
2650. Are they buying now, or they already? I mean, I guess if they're just doing the offering now, then they couldn't have bought any before. But SBET, Dennis, you were a little puzzled by the price action in that.
No, not puzzled at all. Let's give this perspective here. So what we were talking and breaking this down live in the STN room last night. So when you see a $3.5 billion company, that's the market cap of it, put out a shelf to issue $5 billion worth of shares, like, holy crap, is that dilutive? In a normalized markets where you got a company going to dilute themselves by like 200%, you'd see the company stock just fall. Initial algo reaction was exactly that. They were trying to hit it down. It was locked up because of the uptick rule. Yes, there's an uptick rule, alternative uptick rule. If the stock goes up more than or down more than 10% one day, you have to get short on the offer for that day, the remainder of that day, and the next day. But we saw the algos all gang up trying to short it. Well, they can't hit the bid to get short because it's under the alternative uptick rule. So it's trying to go down. Eventually falls like 10%. But when you read this, they are doing this to buy Ethereum. So this is literally MicroStrategy's strategy. We're just talking Michael Saylor here with Ethereum is what it is. So they're not like doing this, but like because they need money here. They're doing it to invest in Ethereum. So it's completely different. Like, they're raising money to go invest in a sexy story. So then they buy it back up, and they rip this thing back up to $40 here last night. So, I mean, you can't just say all dilution is dilution here, because that's the business model. The whole Michael Saylor business model, which we see multiple companies doing now, including GameStop, is to just issue stock and buy crypto. And they're rewarding it for it. Like, this is the business. This is MicroStrategy's main business. Is literally that simple. It could be written by a 2-year-old. I just issue stock and I buy crypto. Issue stock and buy crypto. That's the whole strategy. But you know what? It's working because crypto is hot.
And Joel, I think you were being a little facetious here, but this is the world that we live in. On Tuesday, today's Friday, Tuesday, SBET had a press release that said we have become the world's largest corporate holder of Ethereum. Between the period of July 7th and July 13th, they purchased 74,000 Ethereum at an average weighted price of 28,000. They raised an additional 400 million over last week to buy more Ethereum, and the offering last night.
So you have Michael Saylor trying to corner the market in Bitcoin, and you have SharpLink Gaming, SBET, trying to corner the market in Ethereum. That's really what they're trying to do. We're just going to buy up all the Ethereum. Michael Saylor's going to buy up all the Bitcoin, and that's going to be it. They're trying to corner the markets here. A little bit, because there's a lot of it out there. But, I mean, that's kind of what they're doing. It's kind of what they're doing. It's kind of their business model. And who are we to argue? It's working.
Yeah.
Stocks are going up.
Who will know this term? They're the Hunt brothers of the crypto market.
Uh-oh. Joel's taking us back to
who's
the
the Hunt brothers
again.
You guys
Who's the Hunt brothers?
The Hunt brothers?
Who did the Hunt? Did they invent?
Nelson Bunker and William Herbert famously attempted to corner the silver market in the late 1970s.
Well, why are they called the Hunt brothers? Their last name isn't even Hunt. Stop.
Now,
Chat.
listen.
The chat had you, Joel. A lot of people in the chat knew the Hunt brothers. So shame on Dennis and I. We get 2 demerits this morning.
No,
Dennis.
I know we do. Because we're too young. We're too young.
Shame on
Now,
us.
okay, Dennis.
Really
Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Okay,
And
then,
okay. How'd that work out for him? Okay, what's the history of that? Did it end up working out? Because we got Michael Saylor cornering the Bitcoin market. We got SBET. I don't know who the CEO is there, cornering the Ethereum market. Did it work out for them in the end? Because I know silver went into like a 30-year bear market. Was that after the Hunt
got
brothers
crushed? They got crushed.
They got crushed. So it didn't work out in the end.
No.
But we don't care about the end. We only care. It all ends badly, Joel. Everybody dies eventually. So
Wellness Matters took my question away from you. Because that is their son or grandson is owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. So I guess they did okay. I guess they kept some of that. I guess that, you know what? They just hodled. They hodled. It went from 50 to 5. And they just hodled. I don't know what their average price was, but there's a little tangent for you here. Bringing in sports.
The strategy itself is a hell of a lot easier than a lot of these other strategies these companies have. We'll say that much here. So
good point.
Yeah, it's a pretty simplistic strategy. If they can make millions or billions of dollars at it, what's Dan Nathan say? Have at it. Okay. Earnings, Netflix, NFLX, 18 minutes into the show, the grade 8, one of the grade 8 reports, down 32 points here. The Brentster just went to the background here, so I will give you the Netflix earnings here from last night, and they were decent. The earnings were 719 versus 706, 11.07 billion versus 11.04 billion. That's a beat in the top. That's a beat in the bottom. They see Q3 up at 687 versus 666. That's, a little bit of a guidance raise there as well. They raised sales guidance here too, from 43 to 44 billion up to 44.8 to 45.2 billion. So everything looking pretty good, but yet stock goes down. What do we always say about on this show though? It's all about the bar. It's not about the numbers. It's about the bar and then the reaction to those numbers. And the algos didn't know what to do with this because last night, they're coming in here, had a 75-point expected move. Stock pops on the initial numbers because, they're good. The algos buy, and then there's no follow through because other people saying, well, the bar, it wasn't that great. And then they bring it down. So it went from 13, it went close 1274, goes to 1300, then goes down to 1250, then goes back to 1274, and then slow, steady leak down to 1242. So the bar is an issue here for Netflix. Q's reluctantly were trying to go down on it last night, but remember we're in a bull market. We're like, do we really care that much about Netflix now? And they just buy the market back. And here we are up again, despite Netflix being down 31 points.
Way under the expected move. So we'll keep an eye on that. I'm gonna, I could look at the pre-market low. And that pre-market low comes in at 1236.50, but I think I'm going to go into my Tesla bag of tricks here, and because of the action, I've just been trying to focus on the 50-day, and it got above it yesterday, but didn't close above it, so that's still a pesky area. 322.85. See if we can get back above it today and establish a bid above that level. So right now, I think I'd be sitting tight. I mean, maybe not today, maybe a day or two, or maybe a sell-off in the market. 50 days down there at 1226. You haven't hit that up. It just was tight. Like after it got the pop over 1300, I saw it get real tight, like around 1250, and it was like, it was trading like Bank of America. It was just like really steady. So go with the high bar there, down 30 cents. Option put buyers are probably not doing that good because it really needed a big move. But look at the run this stock has had. I think if you
Incredible
want to
run.
re-enter this stock, today may be the day, but maybe let it stabilize for a couple days before you jump back in. But trading very orderly in the red. Deniston, were there any sympathy moves off this?
You think of Spotify, like people will naturally go to Disney, but Disney Plus is such a small portion of the revenue there that it doesn't move as much as you think it would. And some of the traditional cable providers, you can think about Roku. Roku doesn't seem to care. This morning is trading higher. Spotify, actually, these two pair up pretty good lately because obviously subscription models, kind of tariff-proof stocks. We're talking tariffs the whole time. You look at the charts of Netflix and Spotify, they look similar. Now, you're never going to get as much move on a peer play as you do well as the main stock, but Spotify is trading down 7 points here. So that's kind of just the way we've evolved. We used to look at Netflix, it's going to move Disney because everybody's so excited about Disney Plus. Nobody gives a crap about Disney Plus anymore, so Disney doesn't move off of Netflix earnings. So we're always, relationships evolve. It's, you're dating this person, now you're dating this person, now they're dating Spotify. Things change here. So Netflix is dating Spotify here now. So understanding those evolving relationships is how you stay ahead of the algos, because the algos are stupid. They are slow to respond to change. They're programmed. Now, AI might change things. AI gets into the market, maybe it changes things. Maybe they'll identify on day one, hey, Netflix broke up with Disney, is now dating Spotify. It's possible, but human beings can identify that stuff much more quickly. That's why we're still ahead of the algos. That's why I still exist in the algorithmic trading world.
Both working on red bars for the month. I got a good number for you in the Spotify. Yesterday's low was 93.48. And you have the 50-day moving average there. So I think everything, still $20 away from that. So we'll be keeping an eye on that as support. But as strong as the S&P has been and IWM, not so as much, but both of these stocks are working on red candles for the month. So just a little rotation, right, out of some of the high flyers into crypto and quantum and what other flavors of the day are. But both working on red candles. We'll see how that opening print works out in Netflix, down $30 at 12.44.
We had a few other earnings here too. Remember, it is options expiration here as well. So we are going to see some significant imbalances and probably some big moves at the open, which we'll cover in depth in a little bit. Last night, IBKR reported. It's trading a little bit higher. Numbers were decent. Schwab reported this morning. We cover them together because they're, similar, obviously, brokerages here. SCHW trading higher. I'm looking through all these earnings reports here, and it's kind of like, steady as she goes. 3M trading up 4 points. Decent earnings report here as well. If you want to jump into the details on any of these, let us know here. We're just kind of flying through a bunch because we had about a dozen companies report here this morning. Even Schlumberger, SLB, Schlumberger is trading higher here. And it's a stock that nobody ever likes. It's sitting here near the lows, oil stock, oil services stock, which that sector has just not done well at all. Is there anything down today? Or any of these stocks are reported down here today? I'm just going through. We're looking through RF. No, that's trading higher. CMA. No, that's trading higher. HBAN reported. No, that's trading higher. It's just everybody Wednesday. Is that what it is? Wednesday. It's not Wednesday. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, and new highs for the week on Friday. Song remains the same. Someone mentioned we talk about sports and music. No, we can't bring in Led Zeppelin because we will definitely get dinged.
We can talk about it. We just can't play the music.
We can't. I try, man. I always in the background.
I know. And every time you try, we get like a warning from YouTube, or we get fines even worse. So we can't do it. So sorry. We could sing it. I think we wouldn't get in trouble if we sang it, but
I don't think we get in trouble.
Wait a second. I got breaking news here. Analyst Alicia Reese, Wedbush Securities analyst, is on talking about Netflix. I want you guys to tell me if I'm a better. I don't know who's interviewing her, but
it's
you
Kernan.
tell me
You're going to be better than Kernan.
Okay. I don't have a way.
You know what? Joe Kernan? I have this love-hate for Joe Kernan because he gives 0 Fs. We won't say it. He really does. He's on there. He's just relaxed. He's saying whatever he wants. You know how he introduced Carter Worth the other night? So he was hosting Fast Money. Obviously, he does the morning show. He obviously seems to not care about, when he's hosting Fast Money, because that's to do when everybody else is off. It's like 2-3 times a year. He's hosting Fast Money. Carter Worth comes and he's earning And then he introduces Carter Worth. He goes, this is his exact words. Carter effing Worth.
I love Joe Kernan.
Didn't say the F word, but said it exactly like that. Carter effing Worth. I'm like, he just doesn't care. Joe Kernan is like just going to say what he wants. He doesn't care. I mean, nobody was better than Mark Haynes. But Mark Haynes was, very good at interviewing too. And he'd dig down and he'd attack the person. Like, that's why I love Mark Haynes. Joe Kernan's just up there and like, just doesn't give two craps about, whatever. So Alicia, good luck with the interview. Joe can be a tough interview sometimes there, but we know Alicia well. She was on our show on Wednesday.
And chat, let us know if Joel is a better Alicia Reese interviewer or Joe Kernan.
So I love the fact. So I said I love a love-hate with him because he doesn't give a crap. So he's not overly prepared a lot of times either because of that. So sometimes he comes off the interviews like, I don't like the question you're asking because he doesn't give a crap. But I love the fact that he doesn't give a crap. He could go like talk in front of a bazillion people and he would not be nervous. There's zero nervousness in that guy because he's done it for 30 years. So that's the love-hate I have with him. I love that he doesn't give a crap, and he can just wing. He wings. It's all winged. We're all winging everything. But I mean, he's the winger of wingers, and he does a pretty good job with it. So I would say overall, I give him like a B+. But sometimes because of the full winging, it's a little bit seems unprepared. That's where I'm at.
Okay, last time I mentioned CNBC. Tangent. I wanted to stay. You mentioned Schlumberger trading up. We did this. Maybe we're discovering there's no AI. It's not super sexy, but what's going on in the oil patch, Brent?
So we had a couple FTC little updates, one with Chevron and Exxon, one with ExxonMobil and Pioneer. For the Chevron and ExxonMobil, where did this go? Hold on, I just
Chevron
had it here for a second. What did I say? Sorry, Chevron has
that's okay.
CVX and
I got your
HES.
back. That's why we're here.
Thank you.
Got each other's back.
Thank you. Yeah. So they were there was a arbitration in South America, Guyana, I believe, and there had to be a hurdle to get over this arbitration. There was this hurdle. Now the FTC is bringing this back up and importantly setting it aside, which means that they're basically going to not worry about it anymore. These are effectively resolved, we could say.
Okay, so Hess getting a big pop on this because it looks like this merger may actually get through. Stock's up at 160 here this morning. Chevron getting a pop here as well because they like the synergies. They like this merger. They liked it before too, and they want to go up. So Chevron trading up about $5-6 here in the pre-market here as well. Joel, is there a technical level you're looking at? Or anything here, or M&A's trades make technicals, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, historically, this. Let's see what the move this had. It had a big move a couple weeks ago. It moved $6. Now it's up $6 on the open. I think we'd be keen on the open pre-market high 157.65. We're not too far away from that. Pretty good volume is traded. They're going to have to sweep the book up, right? There's going to be stacked. There probably was people stacked at 155. Looks like at that area. So you'll have to, cut through that paper. I mean, if you want to, just think this is the moonshot today, then you want to see this thing open let's say it opens 157.20. You want to see a 20 bid for size, lifting the halves, clearing out the paper at 58, just keep on going. I'd be a little bit more skeptical. I'd be looking like if my target in this thing was 157, looking left on the daily chart, really in no man's land here between 155 and 165.
So it's over. It just broke actually. Oh, just like in your sentence, it's officially over. Hess is closed. Chevron completes acquisition of Hess Corporation. So they halted the stock. Actually, they had halted Hess for news, and they've actually completed the merger. So it's over. Chevron's still trading, obviously, but it's over. The ratio again was 1.025 Chevron for each Hess share. So that's where she goes out. So it is actually officially over.
All right. So this is not, we talk about, look at that right back up. We're not following the ARB on this one. Wow. They were worried about that
we're not following the ARB. I've traded this risk arbitrage relationship for 2 years, I think. I feel like it's been a long time, at least a year and a half. Okay. So maybe you're not following the ARB. I'm following the ARB. I got it written on my paper. I've traded this risk ARB for a long time at Chevron. Risk arbitrage still out there, folks. Still strategy, still works really well. Unless those
Okay.
mergers, it works really well until those mergers don't go through, and then you go hide under your desk. That's the love-hate with risk arb. It's a love-hate type of day. 9:31, we got Tony coming on here in 4 minutes here. We flew through those earnings stocks, so I just want to sneak this one in here. NSC, so we get rumors now breaking from the Wall Street Journal last night. Obviously, we covered this the day before, that UNP was coming from, oh man, I wasn't prepared for this. Who was it? Rowan? Redster, help me.
It was a new guy.
Rowan Gazwani from Semaphore. And Dennis,
covered this, potential and great reporting by him. So he covered this and said UNP was looking to buy another carrier, and he suspected it was going to be NSC or CSX. Now we get Wall Street Journal 24 hours later saying UNP is looking to buy NSC. So we have more of the target defined here now. Interesting enough, the action on this last night was first UNP was down. They hammered CSX way down on it because, they're not getting bought. And now they bought CSX all the way back up. So I don't totally get that. NSC went up to 289 last night. They really ripped that higher. Then it pulled back down to 277 and settling at 280. It's still just a rumor, but now from another source as well. So we're getting, rumors from obviously Rowan, and now we're getting it from the Wall Street Journal as well. So, where there's smoke, there could be fire. We're setting up into a weekend. Do we see a potential rail deal on Monday, merger Monday? Maybe. It's a possibility. But like as Brent says, it's only about 25 to 30%.
And real quick, I think
rumors actually materialize. Yep. Go, Brent.
I think an important part about this is the Semaphore rumor was coming from the bankers. It seemed like that reporter for Semaphore had talked to bankers. So we have like this part of the pipeline, of the deal pipeline, and then the WSJ quote exclusive, which you had sort of an issue with last night, Dennis. They were coming from like the companies. So where there's smoke, there's fire. Absolutely. Not only where there's smoke, there's fire. This is coming from two different parts of this deal pipeline. If I had to bet, I would say unless these companies heard about this deal and maybe like a CSX has major issue with this, I would bet that this deal is going to be getting done here pretty soon.
We did get June housing starts here at 8:30. Market is not responding to it whatsoever. So why bother covering when the market doesn't respond to it here?
There's another. I just want to go back on this this railroad thing here real quick.
Yeah.
CSX must be going, this ain't fair. This is not fair at all. And I don't know about
the some antitrust issues here.
I think there could be some antitrust.
There's definitely
it's possible.
Yep.
There's definitely going to be some antitrust concern.
This isn't going to. Yeah.
It's consolidating the space from, already a small space into effectively like 2 or 3 names. So, Joel, you had the really good point a couple of days ago when we were first talking about this. Like, whoever is this third party that's going to be left out of this, they're not going to be happy. And I fully agree with you. And I imagine that they're going to raise some kind of concern up the flagpole of Congress.
This could be like a Hess Chevron one that takes like a long time. So even if the merger gets announced, expect a pretty big discount to the takeout price because one, there'll be risk arbs will be cognizant of the time value of money, which is higher than it used to be. And then 2 is the potential that the deal doesn't go through. So I would expect a pretty deep discount. So what you'll see is on the initial headline, the algos are all stupid and they'll just rip it up to almost the deal price. That'll be the fade. So if it does go all the way up, you'll calculate it could be a stock deal. You'll need to know your ratio. If it's a cash deal, obviously you'll just need to look at that. But I would expect, that the algos overshoot on it and there may be an opportunity there. So obviously always we're trying to prepare you in, this in pre-market prep and, in the STN room. And that's how I'd be approaching it is like,
do you think there's a chance that Canadian National Railway will merger with CSX?
No, I don't think so. So not under the Trump administration.
I know. I was just,
I think there's no chance they're going to try to push that one through.
I don't know. I was just looking at to see it. The Canadian. I'm like, I knew there was another one in there. So, Canadian National Railway getting a little bump off this as well.
Taking us off the rails, bringing us back over to the tech trade here to a certain extent here. Talen Energy last night, And Brent, I want you to give some color in here too, because you were doing a little bit of research. Nice work last
Cool.
night in the STN room here too. We get Talen Energy announcing last night that they are going in definitive agreements to acquire Caithness Energy, Moxie Freedom Energy Center in Pennsylvania, and Caithness Energy, Black Rock's Grimsby Power Station in Ohio. Net acquisition
2 power
price,
plants. Let's call it
3.2 power plants, 3.5 bill. Stock pops like 15-16% last night. I'm like, wow, that's a big pop for an energy company doing just buying a couple power plants. But then you dig into the filing and read a little bit deeper. Add some color here for us.
So there's a bullet in the press release that says unlocks material value on day one, immediately accretive to free cash flow per share by over 40% in 2026 and over 50% through 2029. So, like you were hinting at, Dennis, we were surprised that the stock was moving up at all, let alone, like $50 here. But then when you consider that line that I just read, people are just doing the math on this and going like, oh my gosh, if I get so much more free cash flow, this thing needs to be up over $300, right? I asked you to put your CFA hat on last night when we were looking at this, Dennis.
I know my CFA hat's dusty in the story market, but I take the CFA hat on, put it on there, and I'm like, okay, well, then that starts to make some sense here. 40%, free cash flow, 50%. I mean, those are big numbers here. So then you start to think, okay, because I was looking at this logical resistance of 300 and think, well, maybe this is a stopping point. Maybe this is an overshoot. But then when you come out with those details, which is why we love you, Brent, because you can dig right into those numbers, working that Benzinga news desk for a decade, it backs me off. So you save me money there. I don't initiate the short at 300 because I'm like, oh, there's some stuff here. And now obviously the stock is breaking out and making new highs. And this has been a story stock here too. This whole nuclear trade has been so hot here. I mean, you still look at all the peers here. Talen is one of the forgotten children here that hasn't really moved up like the other ones, but maybe this kickstarts it here. Again, I don't like chasing a stock's up 18%, but on dips, maybe you get a check back to that 300 level. Old resistance could become new support. Kind of like it.
Dennis, one of the awesomest things that you try to educate people on is if you are trading without news, if you're trading without fundamental information, you're flying blind, and you can't do that. You're at a huge disadvantage to many other traders in the market. And last night when we were looking at TLN, you were like chomping at the bit in the SCN room. You were like, oh my gosh, this thing is up. This thing is up almost $40 right here. Why is it up so much? You were like almost going to press the button. I went and dug in the release, and you're like, okay, this makes sense. And like you said, you moved away from that thought, and you just said, okay, let me just watch this one now.
The best traders do the combo approach. Like there's a lot of traders that are like, I just trade technicals and that's all I need. That's, and if that works for you, by all means, continue to do it. And in bull markets, it works well, because everything's going up. You get the breakouts are working, all that stuff's working. But there's, in markets, you've got to be, if you have longevity in this industry, you've got to be able to survive the bear markets here too. I mean, we've been in a long, reigning bull market here for the last decade. So, really from 2014, 2013, when we came out of the financial crisis back in 2011. So, but if we look, when I started my career, 1999, huge years, 2000, huge years. And then we had 2000, March 2000, the tech bubble burst. And then we had 12 years where the S&Ps kind of just went sideways or down. So, I mean, you've got to be able to do, other trading other than breakouts because they weren't working there. So I always say more strategies, that's why we try to educate, obviously on pre-market prep to do the combo approach, where you're using charts, which is giving you levels and helping you, but also understanding the fundamentals that make the charts. Headlines make the charts. So when you can get, and understand the headlines, that's where, you get in. Like even the Sarepta move, which we were using as an example, is a huge move. So we're using the charts and saying, hey, there's a bunch of bag holders in this stock. So is it really worth 60%? It's not like the stock's making new all-time highs and they're cutting 36% of the workforce. That doesn't sound like a workforce reduction for efficiency. That sounds like a workforce deduction out of necessity, which makes us more convicted in selling the rip. Selling the rip worked well. Stock is down here today. So the combo approach has always been the best, where you do it. You understand the fundies, you understand the relationships, you understand how the markets all interact together, understand the rotations, and you look at the charts for, maybe levels of where you think stocks are going. That's the traders that are the best right there, the combo approach.
I got a chart. I got a chart for you guys to look at here, and this is good timing, Joel, for you to come back. I'm going to put your charts back up. Ticker MEIP, Mike Echo India Papa.
Dennis has never traded it before.
So we
I've
are.
never
This is going to be. This is going to be your big mover of the morning. It seems. Yes, MEI Pharma Company announces $100 million private placement to initiate Litecoin treasury strategy, becoming the first and only publicly traded Litecoin holder on the national exchange. This was, I'm going to say it again because I think it's important, a pharmaceutical company, folks, trading under 450, and they are turning into Litecoin, and the stock is approaching $10 here.
Screw pharma because it's not working for us. Let's become a crypto company. That's what's working, man. So give the management credit here because they know what drives price. What was going on yesterday? What was going on the day before this? Because the stock went up 50%.
Oh, I don't know.
No headlines yesterday, but the stock goes up like 30%. And now all of a sudden there's a headline here that they're becoming a crypto company and the thing explodes. That's interesting. We'll just leave it at that. That in itself is interesting, MEI Pharma. I kind of think, there may have been a memo or two out there. But anyways, 117% move. I mean, these things become crypto companies. If you're chasing this, you're right along with the algos. Who knows? 950, 10. We don't know where these things, but, eventually this story is going to get old. Eventually this story of like, we're just be a pharma company, now we're going to be a crypto company is going to get old. It's working right now. But, now there's more companies saying, look what just happened to them. We're going to do the same thing. I mean, eventually it just gets crowded and then this market starts to get numb to it, just like the market's numb to tariffs. Eventually the market will get numb to companies reorging into crypto companies to buy crypto. But right now, the market is hot for it. These stocks are hot. I would not be chasing this, though.
And I think people are going to ask, well, when is it going to end? Well, what I would retort with is how many cryptos are there for these companies to become the largest public shareholder in each of them? we did this with Bitcoin. We did this with Ethereum. Now we're doing it with Litecoin. Which ones are next? These companies are going to turn into their own provider of these different cryptocurrencies.
We need to invest. Is Darkcoin exist? Maybe we'll come up with Darkcoin, Litecoin, Darkcoin. I've got the business model for you. There's a $1 billion idea right there. Next pharma company, come out, invent Darkcoin, and then corner the market on it. That's what you got to do. Light and dark. Welcome to the dark side.
I could think of a couple things to say, but this is a PG rated show. Oh boy. Spike to 1145. I mean, obviously there was some kind of memo on Wall Street. That's what I'm going to say. The big run up. The question is, do they want to sell into this? So far, the initial reaction is hell yeah. 1145 is the pre-market high. You're down at $9. So when you see this kind of reaction here, I mean, obviously some day traders are going to step in here and try and buy the dip, but I think you're just going to have to find some intermediate levels ahead of that if maybe focus on your shorter term charts. But I'll tell you, I look at so many of these stocks that have done this crypto transition, and then I look at the monthly. And there's like, you look to the left and there's always some outrageous number out there, 160 or 2,000 or 20,000 or 50,000. And that just means that they were a company. They weren't a very good company. They did either the stock went down that much or they did reverse splits. So there you go. There's the price action starting to settle in at the $9 area here.
Couple ratings to cover here. CMG, which reports earnings next week, I think. Isn't CMG next week? I think it might be next week. I had it written down, but it's not there now. Anyway, CMG getting upgraded here by BMO Capital. Stock has been sleepy here for a bit. Not getting any love whatsoever. I want to get Joel's technicals here. Does this potential upgrade to outperform? I'll give you a little bit of color from it here too. It's Andrew Stelzstick from BMO, upgrading the stock to outperform with a price target of 65. We're upgrading to CMG to outperform and raising our target 65, 20% up. We believe CMG is well positioned for accelerating comp growth and improving margin trajectory beginning in 2H25 and view favorably its strong U.S. heavy store growth that has room to accelerate towards 10% over time. Our target assumes a 45 times multiple. I mean, these multiples in these restaurants are always a bit of a concern, especially when growth starts to slow. But they're sticking with the 45 times earnings. CMG's always trade with a premium multiple, much like Costco. Thoughts, Joel? Like, this has been sleeping for a long time.
First of all, I mean, where's the AI in CMG? Where's the quantum in CMG? I mean, these stocks are just not in focus now. But just going to the technicals, you are trading up 78 cents. If this holds the pair of highs from yesterday, this could be the one where, yeah, you got the good news. You know, you hold the previous day's high and you work your way higher. Has not been performing well, so people are trying to wiggle out that, oh, I missed the 58 high. Next daily high, I mean, if it can hold 54, I would look for the 55 area, 55.14. But what stands out in my mind, and I know it was a while ago, this stock has gone absolutely nowhere since Brian Nickel left. Remember, that was a long time ago. It wasn't that dip to 45 that was April, but it dipped to 50. It had some rebounds, but I mean, is this a stock that money manager? Oh, I got to get in my CMG. I got to, it's just the stock is just a restaurant stock off the radar. I don't know. I think I went one burrito there and it was like $13. So little, and I didn't like the burrito. So not a big fan of CMG here.
Tony can't make it here today, so we're going to do ticker time instead here, folks. So give us your tickers. We haven't had a chance to do ticker time here on PreMP for a while here. We often do it in the STN room. So give us your tickers here right now. I'm going to start because a lot of people are talking about GME and Martin talking about GME, and it has lagged here. I have no position in GME. I said I kind of like it in the lower 20s. One issue we've got here with GME was that interview from Ryan Cohen, which I did watch on CNBC. And one thing I took away from it was when he was asked, and, he was kind of just, not into the interview to a certain extent, I would say. But when he was asked, about, strategy and going forward, he said, if you're in GME for quick money, this is not the stock for you. And I think investors were probably pretty turned off with that because this market's all about the quick money. So they don't want to sit here. Now, we know GameStop has a lot of cash, $11 or $12 in cash. We know they've adopted this Michael Saylor strategy of hodling Bitcoin, so they're probably going to continue to do that. But what he was saying is if you're sitting here waiting for some big announcement to come on and save you, didn't sound like it was imminent. I think that's why GME has kind of just hit the doldrums here the last few days. So, the market wants immediate gratification. And when you don't get that immediate gratification, coming from, the CEO of the company saying nothing really imminent here, market moves on to other things, greener pastures.
Who did you say was talking about it?
That was Ryan Cohen. That was CEO.
Oh, that was a cut. Yeah, I'm
a couple days ago.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it live, but I went back and watched it because I was curious what he said, and I was like, "Oh, that's not going to ignite the stock for a while. People will move on."
I'm puzzled here. I really am. The stock is just, I saw the Ryan Cohen interview. Bitcoin is moving. They bought some more Bitcoin on the offering. I'm just surprised. I guess the only thing, I'll wrap this one up. Need roaring kitty. That's it. I mean,
you need a catalyst.
You need a cat. Yeah.
You need a catalyst. And Ryan Cohen said on CNBC, there's no imminent catalyst coming. So that's why the market's moved on. And that's why it's not going higher here and moving up with Bitcoin. Because you think with the crypto moves, GameStop's not moving with it. So people just not excited about GME right now. It'll catch fire here again at a certain point in time. But right now, people have moved on and they're moving on to other stuff. Immediate gratification, the YOLO market, you only live once. They're not going to wait around here for Ryan Cohen to figure it out at this point in time. So many tickers.
I know.
Here, ticker overload. Let's do SoFi. Haven't talked it for a while. The stock continues to climb. What an unbelievable move here. You want to talk about unbelievable moves. In the last 3 weeks, SoFi's went from 14 to 22. And it's been quiet. There's been a couple upgrades in there. But I mean, just steady as she goes, just climbing 3-4% every single day, it seems. Like, so if you were playing that breakout over 15, isn't no hiccups really even for you. It's just kind of been straight up here. So nice looking chart here. Joel, where are we turning?
I'm not doing that anymore. No. 2220 was your high above yesterday. So if this is it's going to be, the same mosey pattern, you're trading above that right now. Close at 2209. They'll even give it a little bit more room. Holding 22. Nothing on the monthlies to give you here. Just look at the daily ranges. Let's say we open up, it's a rocket ship and opens up 2210, just keeps on climbing. Probably the average daily range in this thing is like 80 cents, a buck. Volume has been kind of dwindling a little bit, so you're going to need a new fresh round of buyers to take it higher. So slow and steady wins the race for SoFi.
Lithium's trade got hot yesterday. We saw Albemarle, who's the biggest player in the industry, ALB, up substantially from 71 to 76 here this morning here. Smaller player LAC trading higher here, $3.41. It's ripped up from $2.92 days ago here. Joel, you still in this one? Did you get out? I know you were mad at me because I said to hold on.
No, I know. No. I think I yacked out. I think it dumped 2/3. Yeah, it was you and Mitch. Keep a hip pocket trade, and I cannot remember. I'll have to take a look at the sheets. Nice move. I mean, this one's kind of boring. You want me to do technicals on If you want me to do technicals,
know if it's got more gas in the tank, or is this just another of these LAC rallies?
Of course, it has more. What doesn't have gas in the tank? I mean,
well, lithium stocks don't have gas in the tank, so I was setting you up.
All right, If it clear, you get a strong 350 bid. That there was a pair of highs back in May, so that's really my only take on LAC.
AJ, we love AJ. AJ is saying hood. And I want to know hood here as well, too. And this is going to be a tough one because stocks, when they make all-time highs, technicals are really tough. But again, there has been no stock more, probably bounced more since April of the major names than Robinhood. In April, this hit $29. It's 108. When's it going to stop, Joel? I mean, this thing is up like 250% or something like that since April. It's 3 months. This is one of the most incredible moves ever.
There's an area here on the pre-market chart. It's the only thing I can give you, Tony. You have someone not huge, but they like selling 109s. I don't know if it's optionality. I don't know if that's their profit target, but I'm just looking. I mean, yeah, it's trading 108.99, but pre-market high 109.18, 109.05. If you're buying this thing off the hop, you see a 109 bid, nice round number like 110. Yeah, it's another move. Volume's still been holding up pretty good. I mean, if you want to be super safe, protecting yourself, I'd look at that close from yesterday at 105.45. This is almost its average daily range. So I think there'll be some selling coming in at one point. 109 seems to be a target for somebody.
KG wants to know about RKT, and I want your thoughts here as well, because you have been looking at buying this for a long time. It's in consolidation station here, and Citron's now on board here, it sounds like, as well, too. I know they were tweeting about it yesterday or the day before here. If interest rates actually do start going down in the second half of the year,
that's why
you got to think Rocket Companies benefits from that. So it's sleepy right now. And maybe it's going to take that actual Fed saying, hey, we're looking at lowering rates to get this kick started here. But, I mean, this is the ultimate interest rate cutting play. So
I know.
Is this time to strike an RKT?
I mean, you know what? It's probably it's like I got the one voice on this show is saying, where's the AI? Where's the AI? Are interest rates going down? Are interest rates going down? What about inflation? Not buying stock. And then the other one, the other voice is saying, I love the Zillow acquisition. I love the other finance. They spent some money. I think it's going to be growth. Where's the risk reward ratio? You know what? I'll take another good hard look on this one today. But where's your risk? You buy this thing at $14, but I like what they did. So there's a look at Hood, or Rocket, UWMC. What's there to get? I mean, for technicals, what's there to get excited about?
Best of breed, worst of breed. I'd rather own Rocket than UWMC.
Okay.
Sorry, UWMC. And it is in consolidation station though, and it will benefit as well if interest rate starts.
But when are rates? When's that happening?
When they fire the Fed Powell, it's gonna be the first day that Hassett goes in there.
I don't want to go into that.
All right, we're not going to get into the fire.
You know what? He spent too much. He lied. He lied about redoing the Federal Reserve Building office. Is what he did. That's what he did. Do you know that, Dennis? That's the premise.
That's how they're going to get him.
Yeah. Yep. He lied.
They're going to find a way. They're going to find a way. RB wants to know about Berkshire Hathaway and Warren Buffett. And I want to know about it as well because we know Warren is leaving and the market hates it. The market has been selling Warren Buffett stock ever since he announced his retirement.
This was it.
Is this it? Is this the bottom finally here?
No.
We're knocking that premium out of there. The Warren premium has been just kicked out of this over the last couple months. Stock market straight up over the last 2 months. Berkshire straight down.
Perilously close to the April low of 484. No, it's lower than that. 462.10. All I'm going to say about this stock is you just got so much overhead supply. I mean, you're talking 540 down to 470. You're gonna have more investors are looking to sell this thing on a pop than buying on a dip. 3 monthly lows in a row. I did look at this pattern before back in early 2018. It had about 5 monthly lows in a row. I mean, it's just this was the Warren day, and I talked about it. I got a little bit of a flack. This was the day this was a Friday. This was the annual meeting. This when he said he was stepping down. It gapped down, made a triple top, quad top has come down. So sorry, folks. Warren, one of the greatest investor of all time, just looks under pressure. Maybe if you get a green monthly bar, something to look at it. But in order for that to happen, you have to end the month above 485.77. That's my look on Berkshire Hathaway.
Earnings preview for next week. We're getting into it. There's going to be some major names. Monday gets you NXPI. Tuesday will get you Texas Instruments, Lockheed Martin, RTX, and Coke. Wednesday's the day. Wednesday, we're going to get Tesla, Google, IBM, ServiceNow. Everybody will be waiting for the Tesla numbers. We know the fundamentals of Tesla don't matter that much. The numbers probably aren't going to be fantastic, but Tesla, whenever it dips, there's just underneath demand here because, hey, FSD and humanoids are coming and the story is hot. There's probably no company better positioned for physical AI, and that continues to run the stock despite falling car sales. They don't care because humanoids are coming. Joel, thoughts on Tesla as it is kind of in consolidation station here once again?
Okay, let me get my charts back up here for Tesla, and I'm sticking with my. We got to establish a bid here at the 50-day, and got above it yesterday, closed below it. It's starting to move up a little bit, 322.85. But with earnings coming up, I anticipate this being strong into the report and see what happens to the report. Temporary target on the upside today on a pop. 223.75, 223.80. That splits the highs from the last 2 sessions in Tesla. So
people asking about Oscar Health. I have a position in that as well. Elevance hit it like yesterday. I mean, the sector news is just continuing to kill this stock. Obviously, first it was CNC that knocked down Oscar initially. Now you get Elevance yesterday knocking it down here as well. So fundamentals is your reason here why Oscar's going down because the sector is in shambles right now. Does that mean Oscar story is over? I don't think the Oscar story is over. I think it eventually gets hot here again. But, now you're looking, if you take out this 1380, you're looking at 12. So, I'm in a small position, half size position in the long-term account, which, I still think there's a story here. But right now, healthcare story, it's the sector just killing the stock. So it wants to bounce. It wanted to bounce last couple days, started to show a little bit of life, and then boom. Elevance drops huge ELV, drops a bomb, and that's the end of Oscar. So right now, Oscar is ugly because the sector is a mess.
Yeah, I mean it needs to regain 14. It shrugged off some downgrades earlier in the week, and managed to rally. But yeah, I looked at that Elevance Health. I mean, you're just going against the trend. You're going against the money. Elevance Health trading down again. CNC is now under $30.
No
So
bits. Like just does not. It goes down every day. Like it just steady as she goes down, CNC. Like this healthcare, healthcare provider sector is just an absolute mess. Like, from CNH to Molina Healthcare. Look at MOH. Just goes down every day. Obviously XLV is full of drugs, which is helping it, but that looks like it's ready to roll over too. If you want to know the weakest sector out there right now, it's healthcare.
Yeah, that's for sure. Okay, we're going to wrap things up here today on Pre-Market Prep. Another fun show here on this Friday. Blue was
Option
traveling
expiration,
last week.
Don't forget option expiration.
Oh,
So
options
yeah,
expiration.
so come join us in the S10 room. We'll be covering, obviously that's the Stock Trader Network. We'll be covering the open with all the imbalances that we're currently seeing here. Schlumberger 179,000 to sell, Procter Gamble 80,000 to sell, Bank of America 65,000 to sell. Just giving you a few that are out there right now. They're probably going to grow. And then the close will be awesome as well. Usually third Friday closes are fun. So if you ever want to try a free trial,
Yeah,
Money
Mitch will be joining us on the open too. So
we got Money Mitch coming. We've got CC Legator coming. We got Christian coming. We got some people coming over there. Join us.
See